Hello.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Miss Debbie. How are you?
I am good now that I'm talking to you, is
Girl,
for
bye.
sure. My day just got a lot better.
Oh,
So I'm good.
thank you so much for joining us today. I so appreciate your time. I just think you're like one of my favorite people on the planet. You're a ray of sunshine.
The feeling is very mutual. So this is like I said, this is a lovely opportunity for me.
Oh,
So thank you for giving me this in the day. Yeah.
I'm so excited. We are so honored to have you. Um, you fit so perfectly into the Nude Troop because A, what you do, but what you stand for. Ironically, I'm going to tell a story about meeting you and then realizing who you were,
Okay.
because I think it's important. So I had a therapist come into my studio about a year ago. It was right before I left for my tour, and I shot their headshots, which I rarely do, but they told me who they were and what they do, and they are kind of a health at every size. And they ended up sending me your book, this specific book. And it's called Fat and Beautiful, a book about why you can be both. And I've had this in my studio for my clients to look at. And then I met you at FatCon in
Mhm.
Seattle.
Mhm.
And when you said that you were the author, I was like, oh my God, wait.
I know.
I've
I
had
know.
this book in my studio for like a year. I'm not kidding. So now I have official signed copy, and now I keep one here and I keep one at my studio because I think it is I think it's very impactful to have these conversations because a lot of us were raised with parents who just didn't quite understand, and I think this book does a really good job of describing that. So I think you just fit so perfectly into this mold of helping people like just stand in their power and be seen for who they are and not feel like they have to change or become smaller or morph into somebody that's more acceptable. Like we can just stand powerfully in who we are. And so I think it was just kismet that we met the way that we did. I thought
I
it was
know
so
it
special.
feels like destiny. I'm like, oh.
It was so good.
This is not our first go around the
No,
sun, but this is not our first round together. This is
no, I've
not our first lifetime.
multiple
What
lives.
do you want to say? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Multiple lives. Like we go way back,
way back.
even though we're new, but like
Yeah, but
way
we
back.
we just keep finding each other, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
For sure. For
very
sure.
good.
Finding my people over and over again. Yeah.
It's my favorite. Before we hop into the book, I'm going to do your little intro because I think it is very important.
Okay.
So this is Debbie Seraphim. She is a body acceptance coach. Debbie was introduced to the idea of a good and bad body by her mother, who struggled with an eating disorder at the age of 6. By her tweens, Debbie had also developed one. After years of recovery and boundless personal growth, Debbie now works with adults, teens, and tweens to help them make peace with their body and build up their immunity to diet culture. Snaps to that. I love that so much. Debbie works with schools across the nation to help implement a body neutral eating disorder prevention education. She hosts retreats for adults, which she has one coming up. We'll talk about that at the end, as
Mhm.
well as for parents and children together. Her children's book, Fat and Beautiful, a book about why you can be both, can be purchased on Amazon. And I want you to make sure that you are following Debbie on Instagram. Her page is tagged both on my page, and it's also at body acceptance underscore coach. That's on IG. And we'll ask you again at the end to make sure that we know how we can get in contact with you. But if you're on my IG, it's also will be linked in the rerun of this. So I'll put all of that in our rerun as well. But give me a big round of applause for Miss Debbie. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it's
Thank
so
you.
good. It's so good. Like I said, I love this book. Do you want to talk about your book first, or do you want to jump into education?
Sure, we can talk about my book.
Stunning.
Yeah, no, and it's just the first in I've got three more in the pipeline.
Ah,
So yeah, the book is about McKinley, who you see her on the front. That's
ah,
Mc well, yeah,
oops,
that's
there she is.
that's McKinley. There you go. And when the book first opens, McKinley is looking at herself in the mirror, admiring herself, and she sings as she looks and she's like, I'm fat. And her mom comes in and corrects her and says, Oh, sweetie, you're not fat, you're beautiful.
Mm.
And McKinley has like a better response than I've ever had to anything like that. And she's like, I never said I was ugly. I said I was fat. Um,
Kids
and
these days.
her mom gives all of the things we've been told over and over again are
Yes.
reasons to fear fat or reasons to avoid the word. And McKinley has the ability to convey to her mother and share with her mother why those concerns um, are. not really necessary, and why some of them even sort of reinforce that fat's a bad thing, and
Yes.
bodies have come in different shapes and sizes
Yes.
since the beginning of time. And she even says, Mom, fat's not bad unless you make it bad.
Mm.
And so, much to the mother Ophelia's credit, she can hear her daughter in a way. Like, I still haven't had this, like, this conversation has not gone the same for me and my mother.
Correct. Mhm.
But she can hear her daughter, and she says, thanks for educating me. And I get it. Fat and beautiful can totally coexist. And they ride off into the sunset together. There's no sunset.
No
But
sunset, but
and then the last page uh, of the book is for adults, really.
Mhm.
It's common rephrases. There are so many things that we say without even knowing that we're saying them,
Yes.
like you're not fat, you're beautiful, or
Yes.
um,
Yep.
or
It's not
that's
very
not what
flattering
making
on
all the
you.
noise, or that's not very flattering on you.
Yeah.
All of these things that sort of reinforce some of these cultural beliefs that there's a correct way to
Yeah.
have a body, and we don't even think about it. And I have to say, as a body acceptance coach, some of them still, I still hear myself say some of them. They're just like part of the culture,
Yes.
right? And we don't think about what they mean.
Mm-mm.
And so the last page of the book is 6 common phrases that we have all said, myself included, probably will continue to say, and how to reframe them and essentially do the healing work, right? Because
Yes.
we're all going to catch ourselves saying these, but we're all going to also hear other people say these
Mm-hmm.
to us and to our children and all of the things. And so, how can we tend to what those messages are really hurting?
Right.
Um, and so
Yeah.
that's the end of the book. So
Oh, it's so good. I love this book. I just think it's so cute. And the illustrations are so beautiful. You had such a
I wish
great
I could take
artist.
credit for the illustrations. Sydney
Yeah.
Meadows it's just the illustrations are stunning,
Stunning.
like stunning,
Yep.
stunning, stunning.
Yep.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
I also think that the language at the end is very powerful because when you start this journey, oftentimes you've ended up in whatever realm of like body disdain, body hatred for a reason, right? It's usually it was a catalyst by either somebody that you loved or the society that we live in or media or whatever it is, right? And so it's really hard when you're starting to kind of like, okay, well, what do I say instead? It's like when someone
Hmm.
dies and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Nobody wants to hear that, right? But it's like, I don't really know what else to say at this point.
Hmm.
It's like, how do I rewire that brain? And I think it's so great that you give people like tangible ideas on, okay, instead of this, say this.
Say this.
Instead of, that's not very flattering, say instead, how do you feel in this outfit? Right? Like it puts the onus gently back on us to be responsible for what comes out of our mouth. And even if it was said to us, we have the capacity to not do it to others. Right? I think
Hmm.
that's really important to know.
Yeah.
And I think because we all have to unlearn fat phobia and we all have to unlearn the bias, you're
Hmm.
doing it oftentimes with your children, right? It's
You're
not,
doing it with your children. In fact, I think like, I do believe that you can end generational body trauma. I
yes,
do believe that it's possible.
yes,
And I also think some of it is going to be your kids watching you
mm,
do the healing. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fully there. They get to
right.
see that this is something that you're working on,
Oh, I love
and
that.
it's going to give them compassion for themselves as they sort of muddle through it too.
Hmm.
And then I also want to sort of acknowledge I always feel sort of the need to state the obvious. But like, I wrote a book called Fat and Beautiful, a book about why you can be both, and I am highly aware of the fact that I am thin. I was a kid, I was a thin kid, but I was raised believing I was fat. I was raised believing that my mom was fat. I look at pictures, my mom has never been fat in her
Hmm.
entire life. Uh, but mostly I was raised to believe that fat was the worst thing that you can be, and that if your body looked wrong, that
Right.
it was a moral failing on your part.
Mm,
And so I do believe that fat bias hurts everybody across the
correct.
board. I definitely developed an eating disorder. It hurts everybody differently.
Yes.
When we talk about, having a scale, a hierarchical scale that rates bodies and doesn't treat all bodies the same.
Hmm.
Racism hurts everybody across the board,
Yes.
including white people. It just hurts white people differently than it hurts people of color. And
Right.
this is very much the same. So I do think that everybody has a stake in this fight,
Yeah.
because I think that while bodies are on a hierarchical scale, bodies are suffering.
All bodies are suffering.
All
Yep.
bodies are suffering. They're just
Yep.
suffering differently.
They
And
are.
so I think that this is something we, as a thin person, as an ally in the fat space,
Mhm.
and fat activism space, like I think this is everyone's fight.
Correct.
And so, but I also want to address it because
Yeah.
sometimes, people look and they're like, you wrote a book about being fat. What do
Yeah.
you know about being fat?
What do you know
Um,
about this game? Yeah.
yeah, and I think that like more than anything, I know the fear,
Yeah.
right? And I know that culturally we've learned that that's one of the worst things you can be, except for it's not,
Right.
you know? And how do we keep reinforcing that message when we don't even know we're doing so?
Right.
And so I
Yeah.
think that's sort of where this work has taken me. And
Absolutely. I
yeah,
also think it's important to have allies that are not living in fat bodies speaking on the behalf of people that live in fat bodies. Oftentimes the message is heard a little bit clearer. Um,
unfortunately, that is some of the privilege that comes with being thin is that people will
yeah.
hear me say it
Yeah.
differently. That's fucked, but
Totally fucked.
also let's use that power
Yes.
to make a difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's not like you're here to take up space in this space and say, oh, it's my space to have. You're saying all bodies need to be embraced, and all bodies are affected. When I started my company, embrace all bodies was I have a trademark slogan saying
I
embrace all bodies because not a single person, yep, there you go.
there you go.
There's not a single person on this planet that doesn't deal with some sort of body dysmorphia, some sort of body dysregulation. They don't feel at home in their skin. There's not a single person on this planet that I know that that
I've
doesn't
never had
isn't
one.
affected by it, right? And it's sometimes hard to have this conversation with people because they're like, well, you don't know my trauma. You don't know what you're right. I don't know your lived experience, but I know the cumulative lived experience of bodies
Mhm.
and
It's a cultural
show
trauma at this
it.
point.
It is. Yep. And it's ironic now, like seeing what's happening with like the Epstein files. The beauty
Mhm.
standards that were set by men who literally did terrible things to small children, right? Like this like beauty mentality of thin, hairless, quiet, docile, take up less space, be seen and not heard, be thin, be white, was set by men who do deplorable shit, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's just people are just now going, wow, okay, all of the societal beauty standards are fucked. And
Yeah.
they're fucked for so many reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. And and it hurts people across the board, including, let's be honest, it even hurts men, right?
It
Like,
does. Absolutely.
and so just remember, like, this isn't any one specific person's fight. This is
Mhm.
a fight for like I always say all liberation is linked and all oppression is as well. And none of us are free until all of us are free. And so I do believe that the fight for fat liberation and bodies to embrace all bodies is completely relevant to everything that's going on in the
Correct.
news. It is relevant to what's happening in Iran. It's relevant to what's happening
Yes.
with ICE. It's
Hmm.
relevant to what's happening in Gaza.
Hmm.
Uh, all of it. Um, and so, this feels like a place where I can actually get in there and make
Yeah.
possible difference.
And make a difference. I think you are.
Thanks.
I
I
think
think
you
you
are.
are.
Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. So, talk to me about your work. I want to know several. I want to know all the things.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about kind of education first? Do you want to talk about your retreats? What do you want to go into? What do you want to delve
Well,
into first?
so I I can tell a little bit about what I do,
I love
and
that.
then I kind of want to jump into what today's focus is, and then we can end on the retreats later because I actually think today's focus is going to give you an idea of sort of what's in some of the
Stunning.
retreats.
Good.
Yeah. Does that work?
Absolutely. I love
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I love that.
So I'm a body acceptance coach, which what the hell does that mean? I think when I first started, it was just me trying to help people feel better in their bodies.
Yeah.
And the further and further I get into this work, and you probably have already noticed it, is I realize, wow, the way I've learned the way we feel about our bodies has nothing to do with the way our body looks, which is why I can feel the same as someone in a bigger body.
Yeah.
I have different privileges and I'm treated differently, but the way we feel about our body has nothing to do with the way that our body looks. Um, and all of it is based, all of these body standards are based and rooted in white supremacy, in the
Hmm.
patriarchy, in colonialism, in all of this.
Hmm.
And so the deeper in I get to working with people, the more I've become an activist.
Mm.
This is anti-racist work. This is actually like this is activism work. This is a fight right now in a world that's really hurting. And so I think what I would say is the work that I do is to help people because a lot of people come to me for a lot of different reasons. People come to me, they're recovering from an eating disorder, but sometimes people come to me, they've been in the fat liberation space for a while and they
Yeah.
still just really struggle to feel okay on their
Yeah.
own. Um, and so what the work that we do is I help you identify the biases that you still subscribe to. And then
Mm.
I get to remind you, you're not an asshole for having these biases.
Right.
These biases are baked in, and the system is built to
Mm.
continue perpetuating itself. And so if you are struggling, if you're like, I know that I should love myself, I just don't always feel it. And that's what we're going to get into today. I'm very excited about it.
Yay.
Where there's a reason, right? And so I help you explore that reason so that when that feeling of self-doubt or shame or self-loathing or disgust or whatever your version of it is comes
Right.
up, you know how to tend to that feeling that
Mm.
has nothing to do with your body, right?
Yes.
And
I
it's
love that.
if you think about it, and I always sort of compare it to I have kids. My kids are 8 and 10. They'll be 9 and 11 in April.
Oh,
And like when they have a meltdown, especially my son, when my son has a meltdown, if I just tell him to get in line, like, look, you know better than this, it's not actually going to get better. I have to tend to whatever. He's an 8-year old, and I have to
right.
tend to the part of him that's really struggling and calm down his nervous system before I can start working on any of the other stuff that I actually want to work on.
Yep.
And so this is kind of what we do.
Mm.
And so body acceptance work is reparenting yourself.
Mm. I
Um,
like that.
it's giving yourself a new language, a new way to
Yes.
look at some of this stuff and to let go of the shame that you feel when you feel like you aren't doing it right.
Mm.
And to remember that body acceptance doesn't look one way.
It doesn't.
Um, Diet culture belief is that everything has one way to look, but
Mm.
body acceptance can look very different to different people.
Yeah.
And so that's what body acceptance coaching is. I do that both one-on-one, and then I also have a group setting,
Yeah.
a virtual setting online, and we do the work together. And it's very cool to see people of different sizes, ages,
Hmm.
backgrounds, ethnicities,
Yeah.
gender, like come together and
Right.
heal collectively
Yeah.
from this toxic thing that's hurting us all, but again,
Right.
hurting us differently.
Well,
So
and I don't think it's ever too early or too late to start,
I
right?
don't either. I don't think anybody is like, I don't think that this has to be, it's too late for me,
No.
no matter how
No.
old you are.
And like I have clients that come into my studio and they're in their late 60s and they sometimes are seeing themselves for the first time ever in a body that they're like, "Hey, A, I don't have to perform for anybody.
Hmm.
B, I don't even have to love the skin I'm in. I just need to tolerate it as my home, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just need to be okay and tolerant in the body that I have. It's not good or bad, right?
Mhm.
And so sometimes that work starts in your 70s. Sometimes it starts in preschool.
Yeah. I think I mean, obviously, if we talk about privilege, like you're lucky if it starts early,
Hmm.
but you're lucky if it starts at all.
Yes. Yes. There's so
Right.
many people that go to their grave despising every single thing about them.
My
And like,
mother will be one of those people.
yes, that don't have photos. There's no story. There's no breadcrumb of their life because they're just terrified of
Mhm.
their body. They think it's disgusting and fat and big and all the things. And it's like, what are we waiting on?
Yeah.
You don't have to love your body to love your life, to be present, to take photos, to be part of, a
Yeah.
community of people that love you for who you are. Your body doesn't define you, right? So it's like, I think it's so cool that you not only work with kids and parents at a very young age, but you're also accepting people who are like, hey, later in life, they're like, hey, I just want to feel at home in my skin.
Yeah. I mean, life is too short to die feeling this way.
Yo, too short.
So, yeah. But I also think knowing what we know about the culture, not feeling this way is going to be continuous work. Like you have
Yes.
to keep doing it because it's going to keep
No
trying
matter
to
what,
make
the
this way.
hammer's going to hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so yeah. So
I love
on
that.
that note, can I transition us into
Abs-
today's like specific conversation? Well, so because it was so
Absolutely.
interesting to me because you said, the theme for the month is writing love letters to
Yes.
yourself.
Hmm.
And I love that.
Yep.
And I've been working with some of the people in my community, really sort of talking about um, why that can feel hard.
Yes.
And so I want to give like a very, very, very brief,
Mm.
practically non-existent history lesson as to why some of what we do when we want to write these letters to ourselves doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna like dive into what might actually
I love this.
help. Is
Oh,
that cool?
I think this is so wonderful. I think you're so
Okay.
wonderful. I just love this.
Okay.
I'm so happy.
Okay, cool. Well, so my brief history lesson, because I have so many people who come to me and are like, I just feel like I should love myself, but on top of everything else, I'm failing at body positivity.
Mm.
And they're like, I know what to say. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm okay. I know that these dimples or curves or rolls or whatever don't matter, but I still hate them, and I'm failing at this on top of everything else.
Oh,
And so
the
I want
worst.
to tell you why you feel like you're failing at something and
Yeah.
why it was never something to fail at.
Yeah.
So his body positivity um, has become a self during the civil rights era. While the civil rights movement was starting, a separate movement was starting at the same time, fat liberation.
Yes.
And it was becoming a movement unto itself, and it was a predominantly white movement, and fat Black activists were being left out
Mm.
of the fat liberation movement. And so in the early 70s, fat female Black activists broke off and started their own movement called body positivity.
Yes.
And it was not meant as self-love. Self-love was a cool side effect, but it was meant as we are here and you marginalize us, but we are not the problem.
Yes.
Um, we count,
Mm.
we matter, our voices matter,
Mm-hmm.
and you can oppress us, but nothing gets rid of us,
Mm.
and we're not disappearing. And
Yes.
so it was a movement meant to recognize um, that not all bodies are treated equally.
No, they're
And
not.
it was meant to sort of say, that's the system's problem. That's not the body's problem. And
Right.
that is what body positivity was meant as. So it was a fat Black liberation movement
Correct.
saying, you white people might be leaving us out of your movement. I get
Right.
it. You say you want liberation for fat people, but you're not including me, and I'm here to tell you I'm part of this.
Correct. Equality
Um,
for all except people that are in non-white bodies. It's like
exactly. And
it's like,
so
oh, that's not how that works.
it was a racial movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it was and I am totally for body positivity. But and I'm pro body positivity. I don't teach body positive. I teach the
No.
history of body positivity, but I don't teach body positivity as a thin white woman. I don't really feel that it's my place, nor do I
Mm.
feel like it's helpful at this
Correct.
point.
Yeah.
Because with social media and just moving into the 2000s and media becoming what it was in general, even before, social media and Instagram and all of those
Yeah.
sorts of things, it started to get taken over by women who look like me.
Mm.
Because
Thank you for recognizing this, by the way. I
more,
appreciate that.
as it became more of a visual movement, as it became more of that, more thin white women came in and started saying lovely things, which I 100% believe, which is you should love your body. Your body is worthy of love. Your dimples or your curves or your rolls don't make you unlovable. And it's true. Like
Yes.
I don't disagree. However, what it has done is it's watered down the initial message. And because thin white women are at the center of it, which doesn't mean that they're all of it, right? Body positivity is
Yep.
now, it covers everybody.
Right.
But because thin white women are at the center of it, what it really does is it continues to marginalize the bodies, that it was here to say, this system's fucked. Start treating us as equals.
Correct.
And so it has turned from a a movement that recognizes and fights for breaking free from the oppression to one that really just continues to
To
sort of
continue the oppression.
perpetuate the
Yep.
narrative that thin and white are ideal. And so you have people of all sizes. Again, this is not limited to Black people. This is not limited to fat people. You have people of all sizes who are like, except for I don't love my curves. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Mm,
I'm just failing at body positivity. You're not. That's
no.
not the point of body positivity.
Yes.
Um, what I teach, and I believe is a skill set, is body neutrality. A
Mhm.
lot of people hear body neutrality and they think, oh, like neutral, like you don't give a shit. No, I have lots of reasons to give a shit, all of which we've already stated, right? Body neutrality is the understanding that the way that I feel about my body, both positive and negative, isn't indicative of my body's value or worth. So that I can wake up feeling amazing and 10 minutes later look at myself in the mirror and be like, holy fuck, what the fuck is wrong with me? And my value doesn't shift, and
Yep.
I don't have to personally take responsibility for fixing that feeling. That
Right.
feeling, that fluctuation is a result of living in a broken culture,
Hmm.
not a result of something being wrong with my body. And so I can
Mm,
sit in the discomfort of having a body without needing to disappear or fix it or shrink it or any of those things. That is body neutrality. And within body neutrality, I believe there's room for all of the feelings. You can love your body, but you can be disappointed in it and you can be frustrated by it and you can
yes.
be angry and you can be excited. You can be all of the things, but those feelings again don't reflect your body's value or
Correct.
worth. And so it is from that approach that I kind of want to take it because I think it's really easy theoretically to be like, I love my body because my body gets me through the day and my body like my body, some of us, my body has had this many children, or my body, like I did a marathon and like that's kind of amazing. And really
Right.
what that continues to do is equate our body's value with
A
its
thing.
output, with its functionality, with its physical ability, with its
Mhm.
size. And so, yes, you should, yes, love your body for all of those reasons and appreciate your body for all
Right.
of those reasons. But I'm curious about the voice. Actually, I'm gonna phrase this as a question. When I say, right, when I say I want you to write a love letter to yourself,
Hmm.
to your body. First, I want you to think of all the things that you're like, okay, well, I would totally write it this and I would write it that. And again, all of these things, my body is fierce, my body had babies, blah, 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 blah. But I'm curious about the voice that pops up in the background that
Mm,
says, but don't forget it also did this. Or
mm.
don't forget, if you hear a voice that when you're like, my body had babies and it's amazing and it earned this, and then you hear this voice pop up, but it didn't bounce back, did it? Like,
The shade. Yes.
I'm curious about the shade voice
Yo.
because I think that writing a love letter to your body and overriding that shame voice is cool, but I want to heal that shame voice.
Hmm.
So I want to approach this from a slightly different angle because I do want you to be able to write a love letter to your body, but I don't want you to have to override that voice
Mm,
in order to do it. Because again, there's a ton of reasons that that voice might be there, none of which have to actually do with your body.
mm. That's true.
So I was actually thinking that we could go through, there are 6 steps
Ooh, I
that
like
I
that.
like to take my clients through in starting to identify what that critical voice is saying and why it's saying it so that we
Oh,
can
so
tend
good.
to that critical voice as it's screaming at you that you're not worthy, you're not worthy in the moment, so that we can calm that critical voice down, calm that critical voice's nervous system down the same way I have to calm my kids' temper tantrums down.
Yeah.
And then we can actually write a love letter
Mm.
to ourselves that we mean, even if that voice is in the background being like, but
Mm.
we have the ability to be like, I hear you.
I
I
actually
see your
do hear
concerns.
you.
I
Yeah.
hear you. I see your concerns. I'm not ignoring you. Your concerns are valid. Your concerns are real.
Oh,
Um,
so good.
and And in this body neutral space, I can hold you and I can still love my body. And so that's kind of where I wanted to take it today.
Oh, I love this. And you're going to send some sort of sheet on the 6 steps.
I am. I have a worksheet on it, and
Stunning.
I will be sending you a copy so that you can share it.
Perfect.
These 6 steps have been a game changer for me,
Oh,
like
so good.
complete game changer for me. And again, I want you to know this isn't size specific.
If you are not a subscriber and you're listening to this on snippets of this on our podcast, make sure to come over to the New Troop and subscribe because this is a super powerful activity that only people who are members are going to have access to. So if you are somebody who's listening and you're like, wait, I really want in on this, come over and subscribe. You'll have access to both the sheet and the rerun of this. And I think you can do it with us and it's going to be super powerful. I'm super excited. Awesome.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's that. And then to wrap it up with the retreat,
I want to
this
hear
is
about,
the work
yes, talk about
we're
your
doing
retreats.
on the retreat.
Yes.
So the retreat is happening in April. It is April 9th through the 12th. We have 6 spots left, and that's it. And once they're gone, they're gone.
Love that.
And registration closes March 9th. So if you haven't booked your spot by then,
And to clarify, this is in LA.
it's not in LA, it's in Southern California. It's in Escondido,
Escondido, my
which is
bad.
kind of actually a little closer to San
San
Diego.
Diego. Yep.
We've got a fabulous house. This is going to be a weekend of liberation, of like-minded people coming together. This is size inclusive. This is not all fat or all thin people. There is a wide range. There's going to be an opportunity for you to do some real exploring of, wow, why do I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I don't belong here, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're gonna use we're gonna do some of our work. This is also a place to come together to celebrate. It's pool time and it's fun and it's eating and it's drinking and it's all of the things. But this is more than a girl, like this is more than just a girls' weekend. This is actually gender inclusive. Marcy likes to describe it as she's, theys, and gays. Um, so uh,
Perfect.
so this is a place to we also have I have someone coming who worked as the head of Mattel's DEI for years and Ancestry's DEI head, and she's
Love
going to
that.
be helping us explore identities and where our identities intersect and
Ooh.
where our identities leave us feeling othered, even when it might be an identity that we feel like we're supposed to have
Yeah.
or the right one. So this is intersectional work.
Yes.
This is very relevant to everything that's going on in
Very.
the world right now.
Yep.
This is, I don't know what I can do. I have friends from Iran who I keep saying, what can I do? What can I do to help? And they're like, you can't do anything to help Iran. Well, I'm going to work on liberation in general so
Mm-hmm.
that this stuff happens less.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
and so we are going to be explore Marcy and Paula are going to be there doing they're going to be hosting a conversation on empowerment through clothing. We're going to be doing color
Analysis and
analysis.
yeah,
We've got a massage therapist who is
stunning.
in the fat liberation space. There will be no body comments, all of that sort of stuff. So we get to start to heal these parts of us that come up
Yes.
that are triggered all the time, not because something's wrong with us,
No.
but because this is the world we live in.
Yep. Yeah.
And again, there's a direct correlation between fascism and these
Yes.
self-loathing thoughts.
Yeah.
So if you have always considered yourself to be, I'm good with my size, and all of a sudden you're noticing, but I'm wondering if I'm eating too much, or I'm checking the
Mm,
calorie counts, or I'm
yeah.
thinking I should get to the gym more. I've never felt that way before. There's a reason, and it's not your body.
Right. I so wish I was here for that. I would come in a heartbeat. Ugh.
You will be at the next
I'll
one,
be
my
at the
dear.
next one. I will absolutely be at the next one.
You'll be at
How do they
the
find that information? Are you going to send it to me?
I can send it to you,
Okay.
but they can also find it on my Instagram page. It's all the links are there.
Stunning.
But I will send it to you. I'm going to send you a copy of our 6 steps
Perfect.
so that you can reference them and take them with you wherever you go.
Oh,
Um,
I love that.
and so hopefully that becomes just tools in your toolbox because this shit's not going away.
It's not going away. It's not. And I think as we get farther into kind of this weight loss narrative of, thinner is obviously more valuable right now, the whole weight loss drug and all of that, I think this type of work is going to become even more important and more valuable. So I very much appreciate you for doing what you do and being who you are.
It literally feels like the least I can do.
I love that so much. Oh, my friend.
Really?
Okay.
So it does. It
It
does.
does. It absolutely does. Is there anything else that you feel that we should know about you?
No, but if any of this conversation just interested you and you're like, I want to talk to Debbie about that,
Yes.
message me. Send me a message. I'm very, very, very responsive to messages. This is literally my favorite thing to talk about. I've built an entire career off of talking about it. So you will
Yay.
not, you will not be an annoyance. I will be like, oh, another person I get to talk to. So
Good.
please message me. This is all I want to talk about. This is the fight that I'm in. And I do think that I do think liberation's possible.
Yes, I do too. I do
So,
too. I think it's
yeah.
very possible. I think it's very realistic. And I think it's just a matter of waking up and choosing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for coming.
Kayla, I love
I
you. Thank you.
I love you more. Um, find you on your Instagram. Say it one more time for us.
At body acceptance underscore coach.
And I will have that
Um,
tagged here as well.
body acceptance underscore coach. You'll get the links to the retreat. If you're interested, sign up. We've got beds as low as $800 for the long weekend. And they're gonna go. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna go.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, friend, I love you. I thank you so much. And I'm so honored that I have a piece of your heart in my studio.
Oh, I
And
can't, yeah, like I said, not our first lifetime
no,
together. And
definitely not. It was kismet and it happened the way it was supposed to happen.
totally.
All right, my dear. I love you so much. I hope you have the best day.
You
And
too.
thank you for gracing the Nude Troop with your amazing insight and your presence and for who you are. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, my dear. I will talk to you soon.
I love you.
I
Bye.
love you. Bye.
Bye.